All right, it is 4 o'clock on the West Coast, so we will get started. Hello, everyone. My name is Kara Moncrief, and I'm the Clinical Communications Director for Sinclair. And super, super, super excited for this webinar because we have some exciting things to share, documents where we wanted to make sure that your combination approach was seamless and that really your patients are getting the most efficacious results that they're coming in for. So, didn't just do one combination document. I ended up doing 7. So lots of different documents to choose from, whatever is best for your practice. Okay, so we'll get started. I'm sure people will join as I'm going, but I have my video pinned, so we shouldn't have any interruptions. Now I'm going to share my screen, so just bear with me for a moment. Okay, so I named it Everything Everywhere All at Once based on the movie, just because it really made sense. So everything, all of our technologies, everywhere from head to toe, all at once, meaning the perfect combination approach. So these really what we're going through the ultimate guides for that combination approach. Okay, so we'll get going. I don't think this is going to be a long webinar because I did a webinar previously going through why combine. If you haven't seen that webinar, I highly recommend to watch that one. You can always find all of our webinars on our Sinclair College website or even on YouTube. But I go through the different layers of skin, the different cells that each skin layer has. So why different technologies respond best with different cells and why it's safe is because we're never really working in the same depth of the skin. So we're really, focusing on very different things with very different technologies. So it's very safe to stack these treatments all in one visit. And why we really promote a combination approach is kind of looking at the world now of the customer knowing that they can get amazing results without having to go under the knife, right? And social media and really like knowing everything that's out there. So the turn in the customer was more of I want the results, I want it now. And so they're really wanting to speed up that result they're looking for. And how to do that is by doing it with a combination approach. Also, they don't have to come as many times. So maybe they were coming in for fine lines and wrinkles, and you were using one technology where they were having to come in 6 or 8 times. We're really knocking that down to 3 or 4 visits. And we typically all of us have very busy schedules, so that's great for them. Yes, they're there for longer, but it's better than having to drive back constantly just to see those results. And also it's a big wow even after their first treatment. So it's not like, oh yeah, I kind of think it's working. I'm not sure. It's very dramatic. It is, yes, these technologies work. Yes, there's a big difference. Yes, I'm seeing a transformation. And it just really helps give them the confidence with you, right? And making sure that the patient is really happy, knowing that they're always going to come back to you. We're always aging. So this isn't just a 3 to 4 treatment approach and it's done. Of course, we want to maintain, highly recommend even doing something monthly to the skin for maintenance because we're always aging. But again, it just gives them that confidence that you are giving them a lot of value for their money. Okay, so first quick guide is a sequential, I said that weird, sequential quick guide. So really it's just a helpful tool. This isn't so much a combination approach, but it's just a helpful tool to know, because this is the most common question I think we get. When I'm using the ST and I want to combine it with something, when do I do the V form before? Or when do I do the V form after? When do I do the IPL before? When do I do the IPL after? So this is just a really nice, easy guide of knowing what is safe to use before the specific technologies and what is safe to use after those specific technologies. Now, the next documents I'm going to be going through really dives deep into exactly in order of what technologies that you'll be using. But I just think this is kind of nice and handy, especially when you're just starting out with the technology, just starting out with this industry in general, right? Maybe you just opened up a med spa and you're not super familiar with the laser world or the radio frequency world, I think this is going to be a helpful tool. I'm not going to read off all of this. You can obviously see. And by the way, all of these documents that I'm sharing on the PowerPoint are now available on our customer portal. So you can go in, download them, print them, and use them. They are available now. Okay, so next one is another very common question that we get at the clinical department, and that is there are multiple technologies that can treat the same condition. So this is the condition treatment menu. If someone has acne scars, if someone has laxity. Okay, so multiple technologies because you have a platform system, most likely. You have our V series. Multiple technologies can treat this. Which one would be better? So, just gave a rating system to the condition based on the technology that you're using. 1 star is going to be good, 2 stars is going to be great, and 3 stars is going to be excellent. Of course, we still recommend doing a combination approach, but if you're just doing a standalone, totally fine. But this is where you're either going to get good results or excellent results. Again, I won't read all of this, but I just wanted to really explain it. I'll just take the first column for an example. Pigment. The VFR does the fractionated ablation, removing the pigment on the surface of the skin. It actually is excellent, but then compared to anything else that you have, so rated that as good. Now the IPL, the 530 filter and the 580 filter are made for pigmentation, right? Those filters, those wavelengths are attracted to pigment. So the IPL just goes in and knocks out all of the pigment that they have so easily and so quickly. So that's why it was rated excellent. And then if you have the Dermafuse, the bright ampule is going to be good. It's not going to be aggressive like the IPL, where it just is attracted to the pigment and knocks it all out, but it is still going to be good. Now, when you think about a combination approach, which we're going to go into, using the IPL, then the Dermafuse bright right after, that's where you're going to get the 4 stars, which I don't have on here, which is tremendous. Okay, so that's just a nice little reference on which technologies would be best. Now, I'm going to go back. There are definitely some things to consider. What type of patient do you have sitting in front of you at a consultation? Let me find the ST. Okay, so let's go to wrinkles. The right about in the center of the document. Wrinkles, if you look down, you can see VFR is excellent, but the ST is great. Now, it doesn't mean that every patient is going to be good for that VFR treatment because maybe that patient absolutely does not want any downtime, absolutely doesn't want to have any heat after the treatment, just really doesn't want anybody to even know that they're getting treatments done. There's different factors, right? So it doesn't mean they're not going to get the result. It's just not as aggressive of an approach. So maybe they are the ones that are coming in 6 to 8 times to get that result that they're looking for. So I just wanted to throw that out there too. Okay. Now, I don't know if I can zoom in here. I hope I'm zooming in on my screen. I'm hoping it's zooming in for you too. If not, I apologize because I know this is a little bit harder to see. But this is the face combination quick guys. So anything that you're doing to the face or even neck, um, broke it down in the condition, and then some of them have 2 options. Why I did this is maybe you don't have some of these technologies on here, which by the way is fine. If you, let's go all the way down to the first page on the left to fine lines and wrinkles. This is a big combination approach. starting with the pristine because we're doing microdermabrasion to get the circulation going, really making sure that the skin is really nice and healthy, removing the dead skin cells so we get a better absorption of everything else that we're doing after it. So that's always our skin prep. So that's number one. Number two is the Dermafuse intensive hydration. This is making sure that we're really hydrating, putting hyaluronic acid into the skin, hydrating it before we're doing things like radio frequency or light-based technologies. Why? Because light-based technologies and RF are attracted to H2O, water in the skin. So you're just going to get a better response with everything else you're doing. So again, kind of another skin prep. Now, number three, you can choose either the ST or the VFR. Again, what kind of patient do you have, right? Number four is the collagen, Dermafuse collagen booster. Why? Because after we've, done all these things to the skin and, stimulated those fibroblast cells, now we're going in and we're putting ingredients like vitamin C and iron, ingredients that fibroblast cells need to actually produce collagen. So not only are we helping boost the collagen with the ST or the VFR, we are also making sure that that collagen is really healthy, the collagen that it is producing. So it's just really boosting your results after. And then the next step can be the InnoPen if you guys have the microneedling pen or any microneedling pen that you have. So that is one option. And then we have the second option. So before I go to the second one, I want you to know it doesn't mean that you can't do this combination approach, right? It's just giving you an example of what you can do and in what order to do them. So if you only have the, say, pristine and VFR and InnoPen and you don't have the Dermafuse, that's fine. Just cut those out, still do it in that order. Pristine, then the VFR, then the InnoPen. And your results are still going to be good, right? So these documents can absolutely be used even if you're missing some of these technologies, which, by the way, I just recommend thinking about what you're going to be adding on maybe to your treatment menu in the next few months, next year, next 2 years as your business grows, because as you start to add on these different technologies, that's when the results just grow and grow and grow. Okay. So now the the second option would be the pristine. You're probably going to see pristine on almost every single one of these because it is that ultimate skin prep. I sometimes get the question of, well, can we just dermaplane because that's removing the dead skin cells? Yes, you can do that. It's going to take a lot longer, which is unfortunate. Pristine takes 5 minutes, so it's not taking up a lot of time because these other technologies do take up a little bit more time. It's going to take longer, but the big thing with the pristine is that it has a vacuum and it has a strong vacuum. So you're just increasing circulation, blood flow to the tissue, therefore getting oxygen and nutrients to your skin. So that's one of the big reasons why the results are so good. It's not just removing the dead skin cells, it's also really making sure that the skin is healthy before you do everything else. So pristine is really going to be your first step in most all of these things. Dermafuse intensive hydration, hydrate the skin, and then the Energet. The Energet is our newest device that we just brought onto the market. This webinar is not to talk about that, but if you guys do have the Energet, the reason why we're doing Dermafuse intensive hydration is because the Energet, when the tissue is dry, when you are injecting whatever material you're injecting, hyaluronic acid, cross-linked HA, filler, whatever it may be, you don't want it to kind of have impedance, have resistance in the skin. You want that tissue to be really, really highly hydrated so that the Energet can easily penetrate into the tissue. And so you can get whatever substance you're using into the skin. So that's why that step is there. So again, I'm not going to read through all of them. By the way, I do want to open up this webinar to Q&A at the end. Absolutely. You may have questions on some of these of maybe concerns or why or whatever it may be. I want to open that up. So I try to think of almost any skin condition that you may face in your practice, and we have those all listed here. Okay, so we'll go on to the next one. Body. So same thing. It's it's the exact same thing as the face. There's not much more to say other than there are certain conditions that you're going to find on the body that you typically don't find on the face or the neck, such as KP, keratosis pilaris, the little red dots that we get behind the arms or the inner thighs, or you can really get it anywhere on the body. Labia laxity, labia brightening, ingrown hairs, things that we typically don't see on the face are going to be added onto this one. But the same thing really applies, still that same combination approach. Again, if you don't have a certain technology, no worries, just cut that out and still follow that same order. Okay. Next one is a comprehensive combination quick guide. It's similar to the face and body, but why I created this one was for patients that are maybe seasonal. So they're only coming to you every 3 to 4 months, once a season, and you need to do a lot to them in that one time that they're visiting you to really ultimately get that result that will last them the next 3 to 4 months before they come back into you. So this one, you're going to see a lot more steps if possible. They're going to have a little bit more downtime. Again, this isn't a lot of downtime. You probably look at this and go, whoa, there's going to be a lot of downtime. And it's not. I'll take an example, scars here with the comprehensive approach. Pristine, zero downtime, right? We're just removing the dead skin cells. They're actually, if you're doing pristine as a standalone, they're just glowing, beautiful glowing skin. So no downtime there. Dermafuse, absolutely no downtime. You're just hydrating the tissue. IPL, the 580, which is the skin rejuvenation filter, they just have some mild redness and mild warmth after that treatment. The VFR, yes, that is up to you and your patient on what downtime they want or can receive. So is it going to be a lot more ablation and resurfacing of the skin? Sure, you're going to have the little dots on the skin. But again, it's minimally invasive, right? They are hot after, and they do have the little red dots, but it's nothing extreme. And then Dermafuse collagen booster, absolutely no downtime. You're just making sure you're putting in really healthy ingredients into the skin, actually into the fibroblast cells to produce now healthy collagen. InnoPin, which is our microneedling, you probably know the microneedling downtime, there's redness. Yeah, they'll have a little bit of pinpoint bleeding, but once you wipe it off and they're actually leaving, then it's just redness. So they're going to be warm, slightly hot, red with little dots on the skin the next day, and that's it. So remember, it's very safe. We do it all the time. Our practices are highly into a combination approach. We know it's safe. We know it's efficacious. So if it's a little scary, don't be scared. Okay. So that is pretty much it for the comprehensive combination quick guide. It's just, you're really getting in there aggressively for those patients that you really can't see all that often. I have a little thing on the chat. Sorry, I joined late. Is the video recording going to be available? Oh, okay. Yes, we will absolutely have the video recording either on YouTube or on Sinclair College. Okay, so the next one, this is somewhat more for the people that are lucky and already have our new device, the Energet. Because it's new, any new technology, you're a little bit more weary on like, oh, what can I combine with it? What will be safe? What will not mess up the results that I've already done with the Energet? So this is for you that have already acquired it and knowing that you can do unbelievable combination approaches with the Energet and with the V series. So, and just a quick note for those of you, I don't want anybody to be left out on this. So if you're like, what is this? What is she talking about? So just a quick, brief explanation of the Energet. It's using a high velocity jet stream, and we are putting different agents into the handpiece, into a syringe. So I'm going to take as an example cross-linked HA, so filler. Let's say we're using like Juvederm Ultra. We dilute it So it's 1 ml of the Juvederm Ultra as an example to 9 ml of saline. Highly dilute it. We have we mix it, then enter it into the handpiece. And then with high velocity of pressure, it's able to inject into the tissue, it's able to inject into the scalp. Some of our KOL doctors are starting to use it for PRP, for hair growth. You can inject it around the hairline to do a kinetic facelift. It's tremendous for scar tissue. But once it enters in the skin, it bursts into nanoparticles, and then those nanoparticles then integrate into the tissue. So that's a very brief explanation of it. I actually have a webinar on it if you want to learn more. So for those of you that already have it, or maybe are thinking to get it, we created a full treatment plan for different indications. So acne scars, scars and stretch marks. First month, you're just doing the Energet. Second month, same thing. Third month, same thing. Then fourth and fifth month, because scar tissue is so hard to treat, right? We already know we're seeing tremendous improvement with the Energet on scar tissue because it's creating that liquid subcision effect because scar tissue is anchored. So it's creating that subcision effect. So you are going to get an immediate release and raise to the scar. But you're also going to need to kind of boost those results the last 2 treatments because they're going to need some type of resurfacing. We're going deep with the Energet. So we're doing all the things we need to do deep, but we can't ignore the texture of the skin. So those last 2 treatments, Pristine, of course, prep the skin. IPL 580 because we're rejuvenating all of the tissue. The 580 filter is attracted to water, so it's just rejuvenating all of the skin cells. Then Dermafuse Collagen Booster, of course, boost your result with good ingredients. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot the VFR. I was like, wait, I know the VFR was on there. That's the most important one. Let me go back. Prep the skin with Pristine, rejuvenate the tissue with the IPL 580, then go in with your ablation with the VFR, get the texture, then boost the results with the collagen booster. So really same thing for wrinkles. Especially if they have really deep wrinkles, I did a webinar called Sinker, Sagger, Wrinkler. If you haven't watched it, I highly recommend. It was one of my favorites that I did. And sorry, I was looking at something on the computer. And we do have very different aging types. I'm a sagger. I know I'm not going to wrinkle, well, I'll have some wrinkles, but I know I'm not going to be a big wrinkler because I have really oily skin. However, I'm going to sag. You have sinkers that really lose the volume in the face and the skin really thins. Then you have the wrinklers, which they're very deep wrinkles. So in that case, we do need to have a more aggressive approach. And anybody with wrinkles, anybody, if you look, they're going to have textural problems. So we can't ignore the texture. Otherwise, the wrinkles really don't look like they've been improved that much. I mean, sure, they're going to shrink in size and they're going to soften, but we still need to have some type of resurfacing ability because of the texture issues. So the wrinkles, really the same protocol. Skin thickening, same thing as well. And I just did a talk on Energet. Where was I? In Cleveland. And that was the big thing on my talk was the skin thickening benefit of the Energet. I've never seen anything like it. So you may not need the 4th and 5th step for skin thickening. It may be great after 3 Energet treatments, but just in case they need a bit of a boost, then you have the last 2 steps. Acne absolutely needs to come in a combination approach. Why? Okay, so one, the reason why we have acne are all the dead skin cells or dirt, debris, whatever it may be, but plugs over a pore. Usually it's dead skin cells. Then it's an oxygen-free environment for that bacteria to just breed, right? So that's when we start to get acne in general. So with the Pristine, it's removing those dead skin cells, the plugs over a pore, so we have oxygen in the pores. So we're really stopping the acne breakouts as much as we can, right? Then with the IPL, the 415 filter, which is blue light, attacks the acne bacteria. Then with the 580 filter regulates sebum. It regulates the sebaceous glands. So we're controlling the oil. And then the dermafuse, we have a serum called Smooth, and those just have really good ingredients to calm the skin, to help fight the acne bacteria, all the things that really come along with acne, inflammation, and so on and so forth. So the acne protocol, week 1, we're doing all of those steps. Pristine, you're just careful over really active lesions, but pristine, 415 filter, kill the acne bacteria. They really don't have too much heat after using the 415 because I keep saying my camera freeze and it's scaring me that you guys can't hear me and it's messing up, but I'll just keep going, hoping that that's not the case. With the 415 filter, you do not have much heat after because it's a chemical reaction to the acne instead of a heat-based reaction. So it's safe then to go in with the 580. Yes, build heat with the 580. Oh, someone wrote in probably saying that they can't hear me. Oh, you're good. Ah, no freezing. Good. Only on my end. So 580 builds heat, yes. But then right after that, you're just doing Dermafuse Smooth. So that's week 1. Then week 2, you are only doing, this is wrong. This is wrong. I am so sorry. I will correct this. Man, I thought I had everything right on these documents before the webinar. Week 2 is actually only the 415 and Smooth without Pristine. Because with Pristine, the microdermabrasion, you only want to do every 2 weeks, not every week. It's too much. So I just have to remove that. I'll remove it and update it on the customer portal. So week 2 would be just the 415 filter and the Smooth, because you also don't want to do the 580 every week. That's every 2 weeks, just too much to the skin. Then week 3 would go back to the same, Pristine, 415, 580, Smooth. Week 4 would then go to just 415 and Smooth, and then so on and so on. So it's just, back and forth, back and forth. Oh, I hate that was on there. I hope that didn't confuse you guys, but just remember, can't do the 580 every week. It has to be every 2 weeks. Can't do Pristine every week. It needs to be every 2 weeks. Usually it's every month for Pristine, but for acne, it's okay to do it every 2 weeks. Okay, then my last one, and then we'll do questions. I just wanted a visual. I don't know if anybody's really going to use this much, but I just wanted a visual of skin, skin cells, and which technologies target these different layers. And so you can really see, why is it safe to do all of these on top of one another? So the picture on the left is going to be the epidermis, our most superficial skin layer. The picture on the right is going to be the excuse me. Picture on the right is going to be the dermis and the hypodermis. So dermis is where our collagen elastin is, our fibroblast cells are, and then in our vascular system. And then right below that is the hypodermis, which is also has connective tissue, but primarily we're focused on the adipocytes, the fat. The epidermis, the one on the left, that's the layer that has the melanocytes. That's the little thing that looks kind of like a little brown octopus. Those are the melanocytes that produces pigment, and our keratinocytes, which are our dead skin layers. We always have about 15 to 30 dead skin layers. So that's an epidermis as well. So step 1, we are using the Pristine, again, prepping the skin. Where are we doing it? Very superficial. Step 2 is going to be the Dermafuse intensive hydration. Where is it? It's deeper in the dermis for hydrating. It's where our glycosaminoglycans are. And then step 3 is going to be the V form in the adipose space. Then step 4 is going to be the ST in the dermis where the fibroblast cells are. Then step 5 is going to be the IPL, targeting as an example of melanocytes for pigment. Step 6 is going to be the VFR for elevation. I'm really freezing. I hope it's not audio's in and out. Oh, I knew it. I knew it. Oh, no. There's nothing I can do. Mm-mm-mm. Okay. No, I still see like I'm. Let me stop sharing for a second. I don't think I'm frozen right now. It doesn't look like I'm frozen right now. Better now. Okay. Okay, perfect. So I want to I'll just tell you guys and then I'll share my screen again. So it's step 6 was the VFR, so resurfacing the skin. And again, this is just a visual. These handpieces do more than just like the VFR can do more than just resurface. It can also go deep in the dermis. The IPL can target more than the melanocytes. It can target water in the deeper dermis. But this is just a visual of a really good combination approach for overall aging or for like scar tissue, of what we're targeting and why it's safe. So I think step 6 was the VFR for resurfacing. And then step 7 was using the dermafuse in the deeper dermis where our collagen is for the fibroblast cells, which is the collagen booster. And then step 8, you can use different serums with the dermafuse one after another. By the way, just don't mix them. But you can do collagen booster, and then right after collagen booster, you can do lipo-LM. Lipo-LM goes into the fat and it helps speed up metabolism. So when you're using the V form for something like jowling, right? Jowling, we have fat accumulation, but also laxity. So the V form is going to tighten the skin and target the fat. But then the dermafuse lipo-LM is then going to also go into the fat to help speed the process up, speed up metabolism, speed up natural lipolysis because of the ingredients that we use, such as quinoa seed extract. It's known for helping stimulate lipolysis. So I'm going to share my screen again so you can have that visual. I'll immediately stop sharing because that was the last one, and then we'll do Q&A. Okay, so there again, there's that visual. Pristine, intensive hydration, hydrate the skin, use the V form, target the fat and tighten the tissue here. Step 4 would be the ST, like let's say the hooding of the lids, around the eyes, plumping the lips naturally. Maybe they have fine lines and wrinkles around the mouth. Step 5, now we'll go in and target all of the pigment. Step 6, now we're going to go in and resurface the skin for the textural issues. Now you're done with the more aggressive things. Now we're going to come in and boost all of that with the dermafuse. So using the collagen booster and the lipo-LM. And that is it. I want to just go to this slide really quick, just so you guys can take a photo if you'd like. This takes you to our Sinclair College page. So this is where you can find all of the recorded webinars. This is where you can find updates on our events like Beauty Boss that's coming up in Connecticut in October. I hope that you guys can all make it. By the way, I just posted on my Instagram story, I'm giving away 5 free tickets to Beauty Boss. My Instagram is Kara Moncrief, K-A-R-A, Moncrief, M as in Mary, O, N as in Nancy, C-R-I-E, F as in Frank, Sinclair, Kara Moncrief Sinclair. I'm gonna stop sharing. Take a photo of this if you want to take a photo. And I'm gonna stop sharing. Am I still frozen? Please freeze. It looks like I'm a little frozen and it's delayed. So okay, now I think I'm back. So Kara Moncrief Sinclair, Instagram, go to my story, 5 free tickets to Beauty Boss to the first 5 people that click on the link on the screen. And we hope that you guys can all join. It's going to be 2 amazing days of just, you know, learning clinically everything that you can do with your devices, and even beyond that, all of the practice development help from all of our partners, covering every aspect of growing your business. So it's going to cover events and social media and overall marketing and branding and so on and so forth, a lot. So that's going to be in October. Um, but yeah, okay. So I don't think I'm frozen. That's such a bummer that my Wi-Fi ended up not cooperating tonight because I was super excited for this webinar. I hope that you guys caught most of it. But any questions, you guys can unmute yourselves. You can write in the chat. I think I have 3 right now, so I'll just look. I don't know, you sound fine. It's better. It's all about my audio. No questions yet. Let's see. Okay. Okay. With some of the stacked treatments, do you think it's overload with serums for the skin to recoup? With some of the stacked treatments, do you think it's overload with serums for the skin to recoup? No, are you, so you're talking about, can you please share your Instagram again, please? Yes, absolutely. I'm actually just going to type it into the chat here. Kara Moncrief. Oh, I almost put my email. Sinclair. There we go. Kara Moncrief Sinclair. I just put it in. Oh, wait, I didn't send it to everyone. Oh, geez. I sent it to one person. Hold on. Let me do everyone in meeting. Let's try this again. Kara Moncrief Sinclair. I don't have my glasses on. I hope I spelled that right. Okay. So the serums. Yes. Hi, Dr. Vang. By the way, I got the name of this webinar because of him. It was brilliant. He did a talk for us and he named his talk Everything Everywhere All at Once. I'm like, I'm stealing that. That is the best topic for a combination approach. And because we have platform systems, so we truly have everything. No, the dermafuse serums are only going to do the opposite. They're going to help the client heal that much faster. By the way, if you do a VFR ablation or VFR coagulation and ablation, so you're going deep and superficial, tightening and texture and all that, the downtime is about 5 to 7 days on the face, right? Clients that use the collagen booster right after the VFR, they heal 1 to 2 days faster. So it's just that. It's the proof that these vital vitamins, that's fun to say 10 times fast, and ingredients in general are there for healing. And the healing is really putting the ingredients that things like fibroblast cells need to respond quickly and efficaciously. So no, it's opposite. The dermafuse serums are only going to benefit you, boost those results, and help healing. What product do you use with microneedling pen or no product? That is a hard question for me to answer just because we don't have like a partnership with different companies or a company that is used with the microneedling pen. Now, of course, PRP or PRF is going to be your best result, but you know that's also going to be expensive for your clients, and maybe you don't have a centrifuge, and maybe you don't do PRP or PRF. So I get that. If you do, then yes, absolutely use that because your results are going to be really incredible. But you definitely need to use something. I'm just not I wish I was the best person to ask. I'm just not in knowing like all of the amazing brands out there for microneedling. But I would say the one that I use at home is Zeo. It is a pricier one for sure, but one of my trainers, if you guys know her, Heather, owns a med spa, and that's the skincare line that she carries in her med spa is Zeo. And they have 2 really great serums for microneedling, Bright, and then one for anti-aging. So that's what I use, and I very much like it. But I would say if you do carry a skincare line, if you don't, I highly recommend starting to look into that now. That they will have that usually that solution for you, a my God, I can't talk, professional grade serum to use with microneedling. Okay, for acne treatments and the Energet, perhaps I missed it. What serum or combination serum are you injecting with the Energet? We're not for active acne. Great question, but we're not. Um, it's only for acne scarring. And for acne scarring, again, remember with the Interjet that cross-linked HA and filler, as a reminder, is off protocol. But for acne scarring, off protocol, you can use your filler, one that's a bit more viscous, one that has a higher G prime, one that is not super cohesive, um, one that I may have said that opposite, one that is going to be more robust or higher viscosity than what you would use for like a kinetic lift, because with a kinetic lift we don't want a filler that's super viscous, because we want the filler to integrate into the tissue seamlessly for things like dermal thickening and kinetic lift. With acne scars, we can use a filler that has more viscosity to it, because it just helps the overall subcision effect, and it also helps lift the indented scar tissue. So the hypertrophic scars. I feel like I'm saying everything opposite right now. Anywho, don't know where my brain cells are, but the indentations, we want to raise those. So active acne, no, we can't. But for acne scars, you would still be off protocol using your HA filler. Okay, let's see. Is there a Facebook, Instagram group for viewer device owners? No, but that's a great idea. Maybe there is and I don't know about it. But that's a really, really good idea if we don't have that. I will talk to our marketing team and see if we can start one of those, because that's great. If just that chat, right? Like, what are you doing? What's working for you? I have something that I'm struggling with. What, our other doctors or nurses or whomever business owners are on there that could help. I like that. I'll talk to marketing. Can you comment on combination treatments for males? Can we use the IPL 580, but just stay away from the hair? Yeah. So, yes, great question. It's going to be the same combination approach, but you're right. On that treatment menu, when you see the 5.8, 530 is fine to treat in this area for males, because the wavelength is so superficial, it is not going to interfere with any of their hair follicles. But yes, the 580, that's where you need to be a bit more careful. So it's going to still be the same treatment protocol. It's just staying here and above with the 580. Now, with males, they are the ones that may not want to do as much, right? For women, I feel like we're a little bit different. We're like, we want the results. We don't care what we look like. Bring it on. We don't care if it hurts, or, we just, those kind of thoughts for most women, I think, are just kind of like, whatever, we understand. For men, it may not be the case. So maybe using the same combination approach, just being a bit more gentle with your settings. Maybe just keeping in mind that they may not be fully okay with a lot of downtime, although we're not ever doing a lot of downtime. But just having that conversation with them in a consultation. Listen, here's some photos of right after on some of my patients that have had this combination approach, right after, and do that, by the way, for your first like 5 patients that you're doing a more aggressive combination approach. Take the photo right after, have them, or have them come back in, or have them just send you a photo day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, and show that in your consultation. Are you okay with this? This is what the outcome would be. I would say most people are like, that's fine, because it's not really bad. And especially for women, they can just cover it up with makeup. But maybe men would be a little bit more like, no. And then you can have a more gentle approach. For example, using the Pristine, using the ST, using the IPL, using the Dermafuse. None of those are going to give true downtime. But great question. Can you treat acne scarring with VFR and then treat active acne with IPL? Okay. Can you treat acne scarring with VFR and then treat active acne with IPL? No. Okay. So with this, if they have scarring and active, You just want to get the active acne under control. Like that's your primary goal. So use that combination approach for active acne. Get that under control. Now, I do want to say you're using the 580 filter and the pristine with the active acne approach. So already you're getting a jump start on their scar tissue because the 580 with the IPL is amazing for getting a jump start on that scar tissue. Then once the active acne is under control, yes, now you can come in with a scar combination approach or just your VFR, or I know Dr. Vang, who asked this question, you have the Interjet. So after you get the active acne under control, absolutely start using your Interjet monthly, 2 to 3 treatments, and then do the VFR for about 2 treatments after. Uh, do we need to use an emollient following VFR? This was stressed during the IRB study. If so, how or how many days? Um, wow, you've had the VFR for a long time. That makes me happy. Yes, an emollient is so incredibly important. Aquaphor is fine. Aquaphor, anybody can run to a pharmacy and grab it, a store and grab it. One that is my favorite is by Elta MD. By the way, they're a great skincare company that's affordable. So if you don't have a skincare line and you're needing one, Elta MD is affordable. They're not as strict with who they'll sell to, like Zio is, or SkinCeuticals maybe. And they have great products. So they have one, it used to be called intensive hydration moisture, it had a lot of words in it, but it's an emollient like Aquaphor, but just less ingredients, which I like. Um, they also have one called Laser Balm, but it's the same thing as the other, and it's a little bit more expensive. But I'm just going to talk about Aquaphor because it's simple. Yes, they absolutely should be wearing this after VFR until their little dots are gone. So on the face, 5 to 7 days. Now, if they're acne prone, this is a big thing because the Aquaphor can then cause acne, and then that's going to become a problem because they were probably getting the treatments for scarring, acne scarring in the first place. So if they start to break out, then just have them sleep with it at night and then not wear it during the day. For women that need to put on makeup for that week, let's say they're not acne prone and they're just wearing it all the time, they can put Aquaphor on the face, take Kleenex and dab, then put their foundation and makeup on. So at least they have a barrier there. But the Aquaphor is so important for healing. It's just making sure that there's an emollient that's not sinking into the skin, that's staying on the surface for very quick healing, and making sure that there's no complications after. Great question. 415 filter won't harm boys' facial hair, correct? I think I missed that comment. Nope, you're safe. 415 is very safe for men because it's so superficial. The combo protocols you shared are good for fits 1 through 5. Well, yes, but great question. You just always keep in mind. By the way, before I answer this, I also, in the next week or two, I'm also going to take some of these documents and put pricing on them. So an idea of how much would that be to sell to your patient. So the pricing list will be coming out soon. Just keep checking on the customer portal. What we always upload as soon as we're done. But what was your question? Oh my God. My brain today. Oh, fits 1 through 5. Yes. But we always have to keep in mind, no matter what we're doing for skin type 4s through 6s, because 6 is okay too. Some of these things you would like switch out the IPL for the NDAG if you have the NDAG as an example. But we always have to keep in mind our darker skin types, we're just gentle, right? We're still testing, you can test the VFR here, you can test the IPL here, but we're gentle with it. So pristine, fine, you don't have to be gentle with. When you go into ST is fine, V form's fine, you don't have to be gentle with those. But when you go into the IPL 580 for skin rejuvenation, you're just keeping in mind that you're just building up mild warmth on them. Your joules are not going to be as high as they would on skin type 1. The VFR, maybe you could do 4 to 5 joules on me, but for them, you're only going to do 2 to 3 joules, especially like on their first treatment. And then you can slowly go up from there. But yeah, safe for every skin type, but we always just have to be safe and keep that in mind that we're not cranking it up. Okay, let me look at the next question. Can we use the NDAG with the combination treatments? That's funny. I just said that. Yeah. And on the documents, you'll see it will say for the combination approach, it will say IPL 580 or NDAG. So it will be, you can choose one or the other. I think the IPL is just more used because it's so quick, because the handpiece is so big that you can do skin rejuvenation on somebody's face. After you have their parameters and you know what joule, what millisecond they respond to and hold heat well and safely, you have that charted. So when they come back in, skin rejuvenation treatment is 5 minutes. Great for a combination, right? Because you're doing so many things. With the NDAG, it just takes a little bit longer, right, to do skin rejuvenation. However, your skin type 5s and 6s, that is what you want to choose for ultimate safety. So yeah, it will say, I believe, if not, I'll double check that. It will say IPL or NDAG. Let me see if there's any more. And let me see if I missed any. Okay, I think I got them all. Okay. Just wait a second and see any more questions. Oh, yep, one just popped up. When doing IPL for sunspots, what is the maximum number of passes we could do in a single treatment? I get this question a lot. There's not a max. Do 100. The big thing is finding your parameters in the very beginning. So if I have sunspots here, I'm going to start with the joule that it recommends based on what the system told me of their skin type. I'm going to set the millisecond based on what do the sunspots look like. Are they really big and dark? Typically not. Are they small and light? That's more typical. So I'm going to set my millisecond to, if they're really small and light, I'll set it to, I don't know, 20 or 15 milliseconds. If they're, I mean, they're almost covered in a sunspot because they have so many. There's a lot of density to it. I'm going to set my millisecond higher, 30 milliseconds. So first set your parameters to what's safe and what you typically would be at. Then you're going to increase your joules only until you get the tissue to respond. What joule does it take for my skin to actually hold on to heat and have a little bit of a lingering tingle heat sensation and you're seeing heat? But if the pigment's not darkening, now stay at that joule because the joule's right. That's what's building heat. Now decrease your millisecond. So if I was at 20, I'm going to decrease 15 and test. If they darken, great, I have my parameters. Now chart that, always chart it. And next time I come in as a patient, you know my settings, do a pass, perfect, it's probably done, or you may need to adjust. You may need to decrease your millisecond again because the pigment's a lot lighter and a lot smaller. You may need to go up 1 joule because it's going to be harder to treat because they're hardly there. That's what you want to do for safety and time saving. But there's not a certain number. I mean, you can go over it and then you're not getting a result. You can go over it again. Just not the best way of doing it. Try to do it that way. And if this is all new to you, you're like, oh, I didn't know all of this. I have a webinar on, it's called VIPL Didactic on the Sinclair College site or on YouTube. I highly recommend watching that one because I really dive deep into how to find your perfect parameters with IPL. Is there information about IPL for bruising? Yeah, it's in the workbook. I'll just tell you here though. It's the 580 filter. And if it's really large and dark, then it's a long pulsturation. If it's really teeny tiny and small, it's a short pulsturation, but it's the 580 filter and it's the same thing. You're just going over it until you see redness surrounding it and that the patient is reporting, yeah, there's some mild heat that's lasting after the treatment or tingling heat. But yeah, it's pretty simple. It's kind of like treating everything else. It's just the 580 filter. And then just be careful with your pulsturation. If it's really big, you want a much longer pulsturation for safety. But it's also in the workbook. And the workbook can be found, if you don't have it, on the customer portal, the Sinclair shop. I think maybe another question. Wish I can make it for Beauty Pass. Thanks for everything. No, I'm so sad you can't. Yeah, you're so welcome. Wish that you could be there. Thanks for a great webinar. Yeah, you're so welcome. Okay, good. I hope that this was helpful. I love all the Q&As. That's my favorite part. Makes me so happy that you guys are engaged and wanting to learn more and wanting to just better your treatments for your patients. I love that. Again, these documents are available. I will make that correction on the acne that I caught earlier. And then they can be found on the Sinclair shop on the customer portal. All right, you guys, remember free Beauty Boss tickets to the first 5 people. So I think you're the first 5 that are hearing about it. So go onto my Instagram and hopefully get them. All right. Thank you guys so much for joining. We really appreciate it. And I will see you next time.